Thank you very much, Ben, for starting us off. Hello, everyone. This is Hobby Hangout. Thank you very much for joining us this week. John, I told you, put down the tank.
It's mine. Leave it alone.
Can you not just for 5 minutes put down the tank? We don't need the tank right now.
We do need the tank.
It'll be safe.
When do you not need a tank in life?
When I'm eating my dinner and
you can eat your dinner in the tank.
sleeping in my bed.
It's a British tank. It has a water boiler in it.
Okay,
You can eat and sleep in it.
Moving on.
Right. Okay.
Hello. Welcome to the weekly show of Hobby Hangout. We're your hosts, I'm Lance, and joined by John. And in the glorious background, you may hear the Wizard Beyond.
Hello.
Ben.
Yeah.
We're going to be
Yeah, there you go. That was a perfect intro. There we go.
We're going to be looking through your projects on the Beast of War forums and respective social networks. So it's not really our stream, it's more your stream. So let's kick things off, I guess. We see that a lot of people have been commenting already and having... I don't think there was a lot of issues last week on our stream, but this week seems to be moving on quite well. Ben, what have we got first? What are we starting off with? We're starting off with Laughing Boys project, aren't we?
I think we are, and it's Laughing Boy showing that yellow can indeed look absolutely awesome on some orcs, because he's gone for a very, very, very bright yellow there.
Yeah.
But the thing that I really liked about this actually is the detail that's gone into the actual muscle definition and the facial definition for that orc. Because I didn't notice it until now, but just looking closely at that orc's face, just looks so evil and mean. Which is perfect. So yeah.
Pretty grim, isn't he? That muscle tone. Been working out.
Yeah, he's been doing some great work on that skin tone. That's superb. The mouth as well, actually. I really like how he's done the teeth and stuff. It's really good.
It's grim.
It's grim.
Quite a grim start. Okay. Next up we have Dead Dave. Dead Dave has been spending quite a lot of money on Forge World minis. Wow. Is that all of it? Yeah. Let's have a closer look here.
These are for an allied solar auxilia force.
Yeah.
Yeah. That is a rather splendid looking tank there as well.
It is, yes. See, there's always room for tanks in life.
In the grim darkness of the far future, there are tanks, lots and lots of tanks.
There are only tanks.
These are cool. I've never seen these before. Like, what
they're
are these from?
the solar auxilia, so they're like Warhammer 30k Imperial Guard, only a lot cooler looking.
Okay.
They're like the best of the best, aren't they, or something in the...
Yeah, pretty much. They're the finest trained soldiers
the old
that humanity have, yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Right, John. What is it about this that gets your jimmies rustled?
It's a tank. That's what rustles my jimmies. It's a tank. And it's a beautiful thing too. It's if I remember right, Ben, it's a Malcador.
You know what? I don't actually know.
Oh, Ben.
I should know, but
Although, to be fair, if I'm wrong, then that makes us both terrible. So.
I may actually have just said no.
No, he didn't.
It's a tank to me. It's a tank. It's fine.
It's a nice tank.
It's a nice tank.
Yeah.
It's just a tank to me.
Mm-hmm. Great start on the color scheme though. Absolutely great.
I can't wait to see what happens with this. Dave has always been quite good with his paint, so I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah.
And don't wait another 6 months until you post again.
Hello.
Next up we have Andy, Sutinius Polinius, working on Spectre models as well. Camouflage work in this is always spectacular.
I like how he's been brave enough to do the cam cream on the face as well. So he just looks really, really well camouflaged, and the detail work on that scheme is really nice too. It's actually kind of cool. He's actually made enough room on the face to put some skin tone where the camera cream isn't quite there. Stop showing off, mate.
He does a great job in these.
He always does great work, and it's nice to see him doing a bit of modern stuff too. Because remember the last couple of weeks it's been naked men with shields.
Naked men, yeah, always for Justin to look at.
Yeah.
I think that's
The thing I liked about
reason
this,
it's
the thing I like about this as well is that it's showing off what you can do with both the Spectre range, which is amazing, and then also bringing stuff from other ranges as well. Because this is, I think, an Empress head that's been put on top of this model, and it all matches up very, very nicely. And there's loads of stuff out there now for moderns. If you get stuck into that kind of thing, like all sort of post Cold War and all sorts of stuff like that. So
see, Empress Miniatures does a lot of really cool modern stuff, and we've only ever had them over once.
yeah,
And it's a real shame that he's not been able to get back and cover more, because he has a lot of really good modern tanks as well. Like, we have one or two sitting around, but he does like the big main battle tanks, like the Abrams and the Challenger and stuff. And I really want to get my hands on those, because at 28 mil they're huge.
that would be very cool.
Yeah. Oh wow!
And this, I want to say this is Volsung, but it's not. It looks. Where is this from, Ben? Do you know?
You know what? I don't know. I would like to say Malifaux. You know,
I was thinking Malifaux.
It feels like Malifaux. Like Malifaux plastics, they have that beautiful casting quality on them, and that the spokes on that wheel just look like it's something from Malifaux.
I have consulted my good friend Mr. Google, and he says that it is indeed Malifaux. So
There you go.
You gotta introduce us.
Google knows more than we do.
I realised as well on this model, she's smoking like a cigar, and she's got a TNT in the back.
Yeah.
yes,
She's a classy lady that's on her way to do some shenanigans.
Yeah, she must be pretty confident on this penny farthing, because I've cycled one of these before, and it's
Not easy.
no. You can easily fall off.
Oh yeah.
And
absolutely.
having a cigar in your mouth with dynamite in
Have
the
you
background.
You ever seen the footage of them actually racing penny farthing?
Yes,
It's
I
hilarious.
have. I've also seen penny farthing on ramps.
wow.
This
I
is-
Putting
never,
some old
I never got the
ollies.
confidence to go up ramps on penny farthing, but next up we have Doug the Fog, who took on some of the suggestions we said last week of using the anti-shine, and I think it's really improved this model.
It has. Look at the amount of detail you can actually see now on the chest. Like, I think before, the that belt buckle across his chest and that icon that's hanging from his neck were sort of lost because of the gloss finish it had, and that's just a real improvement.
It is, yeah.
Even from farther away distance, you can see all the details in this as well.
Yeah. He's doing
Very nice indeed.
He's doing a great job, and it's nice to see painters starting to learn and adapt and improve on their own work.
And also take on feedback
Yeah.
without being offended. I don't know if you were offended or anything, but the fact that you've actually done what we mentioned shows that you're a good sport about it.
Just remember
So,
that any feedback you're given in anything you're painting is just a suggestion. It's up to the painter themselves if they decide to go with it or not. And hello, Skinny. I've been working on stuff that you would like, but I can't show you it yet.
Have you seen what Rich has been working on though?
Has he got some HDF?
So Rich builds. He's been starting off streaming for a little bit now as well, but he's been building a lot of stuff for, I want to say, Walking Dead. He's got like a whole table board laid out, but he's working on this like bus, and he noticed that there's not much detail in the bus.
Yep.
And what I love about Rich is he just brings in the most random things. So he's got tissue paper to make carpet, worn carpet.
Yeah.
Wow.
I thought this was fantastic because it actually looks like worn carpet as well, especially on a bus, because buses have those horrible textures that I want to. Let's see.
Yeah, they look terrible.
If I do this,
I always worry when you bring up Google Image
Don't
Search.
I'm going to be very careful first.
Should you not be looking for bus interior, old bus interior?
I was going to say old carpet's probably not a safe search on Mr. Google. So.
No. I thought we would have the typical bus interior that you see everywhere, but it's not. But I think whenever you say bus interior, everyone knows what we're talking about.
Yeah.
I'd be really afraid of that stuff when it comes to painting it suddenly getting like damp again and fraying maybe. But I guess if he says it's held in place with water and PVA, would that stop that from happening almost?
If you're careful with it, if you're not putting your paint on too heavy or you're not using very watered down paint, If you airbrushed over that, it'll be fine. Because once you get the first layer of paint down, then it becomes watertight.
Did you see this here, John? I heard he was highly offended by two whelps telling him what to do. He hired a hitman, I heard. Is that who that guy in the suit came in earlier? He's looking for us.
He was
bald. He had a barcode on the back.
Oh,
of his
that guy. Oh no, he met a tank.
Yeah.
See, you can use a tank at any point in life.
He saw the tanks and he went, oh no!
Tanks.
That's going to be my theme for today.
Yeah. We got some Star Saga miniatures now.
I haven't seen a lot of Star Saga.
I haven't seen a lot of it either, but I love the Warzone Resurrection Mishima dragon bikes. Where's Sam when you need him?
I know.
But I love the color scheme on these, especially. They're a little bit dark. I feel like maybe the shading is a little bit... Actually, it's not too bad.
It's not. Once you get a bit closer, that looks pretty decent. That's really vibrant. He's done nice color transitions as well, from that green into the blue.
I wonder.
They're very nice models. They're kind of over the top, which is very interesting, and I think the color scheme works very nicely with them. So,
I think I was talking to John earlier this week about I've been painting Rune Wars models. I feel like there's either two ways you go: is realistic or over the top fantasy, and which I've been doing is over the top. I'm quite happy with it. I think the paint scheme works quite well with these things. Beast of War Sam outside the door. he's a creep. Creeping on us.
Listening to every word you say.
So, next up we have Elder Veteran's been working on Walking Dead, the Deal's RV.
Yep.
I really missed Deal in the TV show.
I missed season 1 and 2.
Man.
Everything after that I couldn't care less about.
Deal didn't last very long in the show, unfortunately, and I thought he was a great character. This RV looks really cool as well, and it could be used for quite a lot of other stuff other than Walking Dead.
Yep. It's even a proper Winnebago.
and he actually went to the effort of putting the proper clear plastic into the windows as well, which is a very cool thing to see. So,
I've started seeing a couple of model kits actually including that clear plastic now, which is really good.
If they didn't include it, what would you use?
You could go and buy some acetate from a craft shop. You know, for like overhead projector stuff.
Yeah.
You just get a bit of acetate and that would do the trick.
Handy.
I've seen people just cut out, when you get a blister pack of miniatures, just using that plastic covering and cutting bits off there and stuff. So
it may potentially be better because it would be a bit more robust.
I was kind of thinking, like, who has an overhead projector now?
I have an overhead projector.
Who would make use of those?
I have an overhead projector.
We used them non-stop in high school. And now I wonder if they just like email it out.
All I can remember from them now is just that awful whine of the little fan that was in the monitor. It's like, oh, here we go again. Oh, and here we go again with
this
more
guy's looking pretty pleased with himself.
Yeah, this guy is a little pleased with himself. He's clearly just bagged himself a crocodile. I'm gonna get my wife a new handbag.
Either that or he's just scratching his ass.
Do you know if
it's a good scratch?
That's a really good. That's a satisfying scratch. Yeah.
And a Prussian cavalry now, John.
Oh my! So someone's actually painting Prussians as they're meant to be. Oh, I did get the colours kind of right.
Let's see if we can get a zoom in on this.
Oh wow!
This is a great image.
Oh, they're so cell shaded. It's amazing. Absolutely amazing.
These are nice. Are these little flags like, do you custom make these, or are these ones included in it?
They look custom made because they definitely look like they've been painted. So, but those are really nice. I did manage to pretty much nail the colours on the Personians, which is gratifying to see.
Are you trying to say that you didn't do any research beforehand, John?
I looked at a piece of box art and sort of went from there.
Good.
More or less.
Good. Keep them guessing all the time.
Yes. What are you doing?
Let's not say anything. Yeah, that was good. He's got a blog as well, so if you want to go see more of the work of the Personians, ahead and check it out.
Prussians. I'm painting Personas. There you go.
There we go. Sorry. Personians on the brain.
More Doug the Fug.
We'd seen these last week, didn't we?
Maybe.
Not sure.
But the thing I liked about this is you're seeing some improved photography skills, which is very cool. So you're seeing some much clearer, nicer images of these models, which is very nice. And because it means you get to pick out all the fantastic detail that he's got. And when you look at that first three at the top there, and you see the little sort of like the blinking light in the eyes and stuff, and the sort of the drool and all the bits and bobs that have come out of their bodies sliding down their chests and stuff. It's very interesting. So.
I think Doug has found his stride with his painting on those three alone. That's really solid paint jobs. Really good.
I like how in the comments we have Cameron saying great minis this week. Definitely. I think as a whole we're improving quite a bit here in the community. Community standard has gone up.
Yep. It always does though. It always does.
I love the bases on these too. This guy in the middle looks like his leg is just
melting into the floor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Grim.
Well, welcome to 40k. It is fairly grim. Is that your theme for the day? Grim. Everything's grim. Okay.
You've got tanks, I've got grim.
It is Hunt Day, so everything should be grim.
It is, isn't it?
Day,
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And next up we have Daughter of Cain work from the Entombed. I quite like this.
That is really,
Yeah.
really
So he's
good.
working on his Daughter of Cain, but he's showing off some of the other miniatures that he's picked up. So the first one is one of the vortexes that you can get for Age of Sigmar.
Yeah.
So it's one of the swelling vortexes. It'd be very cool indeed. I always like you get these really nice dynamic terrain pieces that Games Workshop did, sort of for the end of the sort of the fall of One Fantasy and sort of the turn into Age of Sigmar. You had these really nice sort of powerful malefic things that they did, and then they work really well in the sort of over the top, like crazy world of Age of Sigmar, which I always think is a world that should be, serenaded in by hair metal and retro wave. And massive, cool retro signs everywhere. So anything you see like this is just awesome. So, and then there's a couple of the character models there as well. So I think the lead guy is the Lord Ordinator, I think, from the new Malign Portents. And then there's also one of the I can't remember now. I think it's Neve Black Talon. I think she's from.
It's Neve something, yeah.
I like the blending on the.
Yeah, she is a beautiful model.
Yeah.
I'm now seeing Silver Stormcast turning up, and you remember our chat last week, Ben, about me doing the plate armor on mine? I'm gonna have to start digging mine out and doing that. 'Cause that looks really good.
And so it begins. Yeah.
Works really well.
Yeah,
I'm glad we're seeing a nice change from the normal gold.
The gold is a bit in your face, and yeah, a bit in your face. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah, I really like different colours on things now. Do you take a look on community miniatures?
Yes.
Yes, we do. Dunkler Resigner. If you post them up, we'll have a look through them. So feel free, Ben, if you can post a link in the YouTube comments for us, please, and we'll have a look at your miniature. Hopefully at the end of the stream. Yep. But we've got some Star Wars stuff. These aren't from Legion, though. These are some older models.
I'm not sure what they're from. Are they from the older plastic miniatures game? I can't remember.
Actually, these are Imperial Assault miniatures, which is pretty cool. So I think they're some of the ones you get in the little blister packs for adding to the game, which is kind of awesome. So
I love the 3-day beard. That's quite nice.
Yeah,
it's well done. I actually really love the whole color scheme of this.
See that very subtle snow? Like you don't need a base completely drenched in snow anymore, I don't think.
Where can you post them? Don't worry, if you come over to the Beast of War website, so I'll show you actually right now. Come over to beastofwar.com. Up here in the top tab in the top right, I'm afraid we can't see it if we go to the full browser. Up in the top right, click here at community, you should receive a little drop down.
Yeah, I've been denied the ability to post the link in YouTube, so...
What we do is we click here in forums and scroll all the way down. If you haven't created an account, it's really simple. But in the hobby forum, if you put into what are you painting now, or you can create your own topic. Very simple, and we'll get to see your miniature during the stream.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Oh, look at this. What's wrong with Obi-Wan? Has he been frozen?
Obi-Wan looks like he's just about to go to a baseball game. In that pose.
Batter up.
Batter up, Darth. Yeah.
You strike me out, and I will become more powerful than I was before.
You do a very good Obi-Ben. Obi-Ben Kenobi.
Ghost Obi-Wan, of course. It's a Ghost Obi-Wan.
Gobi-Wan.
Is that Greedo?
It is a Vinto Frida. New player card. It looks like Greedo though. Maybe it's the same species. What were you going to say there, Ben?
A new character for the game, yeah. There is actually a Greedo at the bottom of that post as well, which is awesome.
Yeah.
So.
You get to see that.
Droids. Oh, that's creepy.
Isn't it?
That face is so creepy. That's really well painted too.
Yeah. I love these hard highlights.
Mm-hmm.
I think they work really well for the Star Wars stuff. Like Greedo here. The nice hard highlights on this.
Hashtag hand shot first. Just saying.
I'm not going to get into it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, great stuff. I really love the Star Wars miniatures that are coming out, and I think they work really well with these really colourful, vibrant schemes. I know Star Wars kind of relates to that in a way, but...
Well, it did up until the recent movies.
Yeah, they've become quite gritty now, haven't they?
Oh, you missed your opportunity.
Grim.
There you go.
Greedo's actually really good fun in the Star Wars Destiny card game as well. He gets to shoot just before he dies and everything. It's awesome. He's pretty useless otherwise, but he's good fun. So.
He's very thematic then.
Yeah.
He's just useless.
He gets to shoot one last time.
Oh, wow. Oh.
So Caesar has been working on this huge... Oh, I can't even get it into the screen, so let me bring it into Photoshop here so we can actually...
It's one of the Tau Supremacy walkers.
Yeah, I think this is the Stormsurge, I think he's said. Yeah.
If you don't know who Caesar is, he does the comics on the front page of the website, so you see the Justins and Dragons. This is what he is also capable of off screen.
The addition of that camouflage netting just really gives it a bit more of a personal touch to it.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of cool because I think the whole thing behind the Stormsurges is they're meant to be sort of Knight and Titan killers. They're meant to take on like the super heavies and stuff, so they sit in cover until they've got a good opportunity. And adding that camouflage and stuff really helps with that aesthetic.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even see like very much paint on this, like, and that's not a bad thing.
It's minimalist.
It's very minimal. It works for the Tau. And I suppose if you're doing like tons of armies,
Yeah, you
it
don't want
works
to
as
be.
well. But obviously the feature here is on the camouflage. I think he's done a really good job of this one.
Yep, I love the muted scheme overall. It's really, really nice. Not what I'm going to do with my Tau, but you know, that's still really good. My Tau are going to be the typical very showy off. Oh, look at all the kit he's added on.
I think because what he's been saying in the text for this is he's turning his Tau into more of like an engineering core, so it'd be the Earth cast, I guess it would be, of the Tau.
Yeah.
Which is going to be really awesome to see how this all comes together, because they'll all be like little tiny mini vignettes, won't they? Which would be really nice. So,
yeah.
Oh wow, here we go.
Very cool
Nice
stuff. Yeah.
I like how we've gone from really contrast work to nice, like, subtle shading and camouflage work. A lot of kit-based stuff.
He is buying a lot of Tameo 135th parts. I tried doing that with the Imperial Guard and it just made them look a bit too much. I love the conversion work though. all this conversion work that's going on is superb.
More guns, John. More guns.
More guns. And look, Lance. They're tanks.
They are.
It's another day of tanks.
It's a house with a gun on it.
It's a great day of tanks.
Yeah. These are fantastic so far. We've got quite a few pages to run through, so we'll try and get through them at a reasonable rate. Currently working on some
More
Shadespire?
Stormcast. Yeah,
Stormcast?
Shadespire.
Yeah. I really like this blue tone through it.
Oh,
'Cause
he's done a head swap on the female character as well.
yeah, let's have a zoom in on this actually. Have you noticed, John, that we can't hear the music?
Yes,
Are you okay with that, or would you like to hear?
I'm okay with that. Yeah. I need to hear the music on my painting stream.
Yeah,
Otherwise, it feels weird.
that's okay.
It's like I'm just talking to myself, and occasionally a comment pops up on the screen telling me to shut up.
Yeah, these are really nice. These are some like, it all seems to be washes at the moment.
Yeah,
So I'm liking what's going on so far.
going in a good direction. Oh, an
now
Inquisitor
we've got
skill
her.
model. I've not seen one of those in a while.
Yes, that would be the old Artemis miniature, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
It's been painted up there, yeah. Who Artemis got turned into an actual 28mm guy as well, didn't he?
Did he?
Eventually, yeah. When the Death Watch came out, he got turned into a little 28mm mini. So
Cool.
I have an amazing story about, well, not an amazing story, but I have a story about Artemis. We played a game of Inquisitor once where we had, I think there was 3 or 4 gangs, and we were all fighting it out in this library trying to get this book. And Artemis had been sent from the Death Watch to try and like cleanse us because he realized they thought that we were like heretics that were going to get in the way and all that kind of thing. And I kid you not, 4 gangs couldn't take him down. He was that powerful.
He is a
Space Marine,
yeah.
but yeah. And so he was just gunning us all down and wounding us, and we're like, we need to run, we need to get out of here. It's insane. So, the Inquisitors were really good fun, actually.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it, but
And this is this a Roman orc?
It looks to be, doesn't it?
It does look like a
a
Roman
Rourke.
A Rourke.
Yeah.
Oh dear.
Gobi-Wan and Rourkes, there we go.
A superb work on that copper, even that little touch of patina on it and on the armor segments and stuff. Ah, it's so good.
Very nice.
Really, really different.
I'm just in awe. I don't have much to say about this other than it looks great.
Yep.
Some of these posts, there's not much feedback that we can do other than just moment of silence. Like, this is beautiful.
I wonder where that's from, actually. But,
Yeah.
So Warhammer Grimace, if you know where that's from, Ben wants to know. Get in touch.
Yeah.
Ben was going to buy a few of those.
Seems right up your alley, Ben. Can you put these in Lord of the Rings?
Depends.
What, Lord of the Rings? The Roman orcs.
I'll find a way.
It can be a new troll. There you go.
It's bigger than 28 mil by the looks of it.
Yeah.
Wow, we've got a lot of photographs in these.
Oh, Mars attacks.
We're going to come back to this, John,
Okay, why?
because we're going to feature this later on. We've got a more
It's so vibrant.
important discussion on that. I think it looks great, but we'll come back to it. Don't worry, we're not skipping it. We'll come back to it.
Okay.
Dr. Ether has been working on his Necromunda stuff. Dr. Ether comes in and does the Kingdom Death videos.
Yep.
I mean, his painting style is always beautiful as well. I love the yellow highlight on the trousers, actually.
It works well. It's almost like a stone-washed red denim sort of look to it.
Mm-hmm.
I thought I'd recognise that model. It is, yeah, classic Iron Hand Strachan. Yeah, from the Imperial Guard. Painted up as a bit of a ganger, which is pretty cool. So.
Well, when there isn't a war to be fought, you may as well go do something else.
Very true.
Or yellow orcs.
Put that big metal arm to good use. Yeah.
So here's what Martin's been doing as well. He's finished off his orcs. He's going to be working on the Skaven. I've already seen a preview of Skaven because I was on the stream the other night, and he's got fantastic work coming up. Some better picks of the Roman orc, the Rourke.
He is Orticus, apparently, from the comments on YouTube.
Ah.
Orticus.
I am Orticus.
How do you find painting yellow, John?
Yellow.
Yeah.
I hate it.
Ariskina, he says yellow is such a hard colour to paint. I find yellow and green don't go on models very well.
Green is okay for me because I've been working with green paint for 15 years. Yellow, on the other hand, no.
No.
It's not very often I actually find a decent yellow paint.
I find if you're working with yellow, it's good to mix it with like an acrylic paint.
Yeah.
Because it thickens.
Yeah, when I'm trying to paint yellow, I usually start with a brown. Like a base coat of a brown, then work it up.
I don't mind painting white. I think yellow. I think it just could. Maybe it's just my paints that I use at home.
Yeah.
But yellows I always find to be too flowy, and they just don't sit in the model. Whereas I found out that recently I've just been mixing it with acrylic paint. I've got a tube of white acrylic from Winsor & Newton, I think. It works great. A little bit lighter in colour, but you can kind of fix that. And
the other way to paint yellow is to paint your mini white and put yellow ink on it.
Oh yeah.
'Cause yellow ink works really well. Now we have red and white Stormcast. This is getting really interesting, and there's a lot of head swaps popping in now.
White and red. That kind of suits. I'm looking forward to seeing that finish because there's no. It's all kind of rusted armor at the minute. That's going to be interesting. This guy here, I think maybe just the wash went down a little bit too thickly, but I think a little bit of highlight, you can bring that up quite nicely.
Yeah, maybe a little dry brush.
And we're back to the
infinity
stuff.
It's so good.
Little bit of. Only need to add a thin coat of varnish against the grubby fingers. Yeah, we seen these last week as well, and they're fantastic. I just now noticed the base, the tile base. I think it looks really cool.
And there's Vlad.
Let's get a zoom in on
Vladimir Zapesky.
Is it possible? Yeah, here we go.
The Dark Prince of Kador.
Let's see.
Zapesky is such a cool character. I've listened to a couple of audiobooks where he's been featured in it, and he's such a cool character, but very, very honor bound in a way. There's one point in one of the books he just didn't fight a Signar guy because he was like, this just wouldn't be honorable doing this right now. It's like, okay, but he is your sworn enemy, right, Vlad?
Wow. Oh,
he was just talking about. I'm just going back to that for a second. He was talking about ice and snow from the asset drop box, which is quite interesting because I have a problem actually trying to get ice and snow to work on my miniatures. It always just looks too fake.
Yeah.
And maybe it's just the fact that maybe I'm not using it correctly because what I'll do is I'll just put the PVA and then stick it down. But maybe there's some way that can be mixed or used with something else to sort of make it look a little bit better. But maybe the stuff I'm using is a bit too large as well potentially. But it looks all right on this model. But
yeah, you could with your PVA, you could mix some of your snow flock into the PVA, then put that down, and then sprinkle some dry stuff over the top.
Yeah,
might do the trick.
I also noticed Lloyd made really good ice.
Super glue and baking soda.
Yeah.
It was that, but there's ice he made of plastic. She just scraped the plastic. Or was that you that made that?
Oh, the ice for the
Fabled Realm stuff?
The Fabled Realm stuff. Yeah, that was like clear plastic packaging that you took a sander to and just rubbed and scraped it.
I think it looked really well.
Yeah.
And I don't know if he tinted it. It's been a while now since I looked at it, but I think if you tint it, maybe a slight blue.
Maybe
on the underside of it. I think it would look quite nice.
Yes, texture paints, from Manta Pie. Yeah. The Valhallan Blades and stuff. I do quite like the texture paints that Games Workshop do, so I might have to try that rather than just using Snowflock.
Yep.
Probably a good idea. Yeah.
I'm gonna skip this one because I know for a fact he's got the finish.
There's definitely more of that. Yes.
Yeah. That looks amazing.
Yeah.
But we're gonna skip it for now. Oh, look at these.
Oh, were those were the Grey Knights?
We got the Australian faction as well.
Yeah. It's terrible. We've
But
seen the
take-
Grey Knights that were before this because they were like just blue inked and stuff. Yeah, and I think they've turned out really well. Really nice. The red cloth's really vibrant.
Let me just get a proper zoom in here. There we go.
Really, really solid work.
Very nice.
So, would these be considered finished? Because I'm looking at the swords now. I think
he's
got like a nice glow on the
Probably turning his attention to the swords and maybe the faces a bit.
sword. Yeah.
But I'd say most of the rest of it's done.
See it with the sigil at the back there.
Yeah.
So. Yeah, I think it's going to look great whenever it's finished. Is this then finished, or let's have a look? We'll do
Again, I think there's
proper swaps here.
There you go.
Done. Yeah, these look great so far.
I think I'd like some help on then, as maybe you guys can help me with. You know, when it comes to when you've got a sword and it's got sort of like runic lettering up and down through it and stuff.
Yeah.
What's the process that you guys go through when it comes to painting those? Because I usually go through painting the base color of whatever the sword is, and then trying to do it in with a very fine brush. But it always means that I have to keep cleaning up all the time. Is there like a better way to do it, or?
Oh my.
For me, if it's an engraved sword,
Yeah.
I haven't done very many, but I've done something similar technique. Is where I'll do base coat, and then I'll do a little wash, so it gets into the recesses, and then I'll highlight it around it. John, do you have a different method?
What have I done previously? I've always done like glowing runes. So what I've done is watered down some white, basically filled in the rune, then given it a little bit of a blue ink, for example, because I want a blue glow, and then I'll go back into it with some white mixed with a blue paint, just to give it a little bit of a central sort of partition paint on it. I don't know how well it works. I can't remember the process exactly, but I know in one of my Kador miniatures I did it, and it turned out okay. I just can't remember what I did exactly.
Ah, cool. I'll give it. I'll give that a go. Yeah.
I think it would be similar to like adding rust and stuff to certain things where it's a little bit of wash.
Yep.
Then, yeah.
So
Next
to do
up
a bit
we
of
have-
tidying up after that.
Yeah, we have Yanis working with Romans as well. He's been working on these for months. I feel sorry for Yanis because he's just been powering through these like nothing normal. He must have the actual Roman army sitting in his house. They all look great. Leather added on all 36.
Wow.
My goodness.
Only 36. Where's the rest of it? Sorry, that's a bit too far. I'll stop.
He's gonna cry now, John.
He needs a
I hope
tank.
you- There we go. Some Warzone started painting now from is it Illidan or Ludan?
Luden.
Paint Crispin. Oh, look at this guy.
I'm really liking that big green fellow.
Yeah, let me just throw it into Photoshop here for a second. We can get a nice zoom in of it. There we go. He looks pretty good. I like
pretty terrifying looking. I've no idea what it is, but he's pretty terrifying looking.
He's like a walking tank, John.
No, he's not. He does not have enough armor to be a tank.
Sorry. We can give him more armor.
We could
Build it.
but I'd know underneath he's not a tank.
We'll get Caesar to come in and just build more armor, more guns.
Yep.
I really like the muscle tone so far. All the lighting on it. It's working really well, and I think it's going to turn into a really great model.
Yep.
Really great paint scheme. Okay. Moving on, Ben. We're back up to Doug the Fug. He's got some
More poxwalkers.
got some fashion now coming into the fray.
Catwalk poxwalkers. Yeah.
Yeah.
Today in this segmentum is blue. Blue.
It's the
Blue
new
lab
season.
coats are the way forward.
Yeah. I love that, like looking at these, he's done most of the models differently.
Yep.
Like he hasn't just lined them up and,
Just done the same thing over everyone. Yeah.
yeah.
It's one of the pitfalls I get into when it comes to models like this, is I'll just end up just doing them all more or less the same color, and then I think you kind of lose something if you do that.
Yeah.
Whereas as you can see here, it really adds a nice new level of character to everything once you get a couple of new spot colors in there and stuff as well. So it's very cool. Because the basing's what then ties the miniatures together, rather than it being the miniatures themselves having like one spot color, I guess.
Yep.
Which is always cool. So.
That's a good point that Ben's brought up. Like, don't be afraid of changing up your minis. Just link them in with the bases. Because they can all look differently. They all have different personalities. But they all need to be standing in the same place.
Yep.
Jamijin has finished one. He's looked to do tattoos on this one. So let's have a zoom in on the tattoo.
Zoom and enhance.
I don't know if we can zoom in and enhance, but let's try and have a look.
It's not Blade Runner style, come on.
No, unfortunately not. I can do a little bit of wizardry on this. Let's see if we can fix it. Here we go.
Yeah.
You can kind of see the detail of the
It's
tattoo
there.
coming in.
Yep. We just need a better camera.
Yeah. But I think overall the paint scheme is fantastic. The tattoo, maybe it was just a smaller, too small a surface to work on. But other than that, I think what we said last week about the armor, not much needs to be said.
No.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, the
Change,
armor
change.
on this was fantastic.
Yep.
Everything about that. I'm sure the tattoo looks fantastic too. But next up we have Laughing Boy, and this is the Skaven that he was working on. I think this is before he did the highlights. Yeah, it is.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it looked great. I saw him on stream painting something else the other night, and he was working on it. And oh, here we go.
That's beautiful.
Isn't it?
Mm-hmm. It feels very comic book.
I really
Or sort of
liked it.
graphic novel.
Yeah. I thought it was really cool. I love the vibrancy of the highlights.
Mm-hmm.
Everything about this just... I've been watching a lot of Sea of Thieves gameplay today because it's just released yesterday, and this reminds me of the artwork in it.
Yep.
That's great. I love that one.
Nice and bold.
Yeah. Here we go, John.
Oh my god.
You okay there?
Oh, that's amazing. That's not fair. That's really, really good.
Yeah.
That's all I can say is really, really. Oh god, and the close-up makes it better.
Yep.
Never has a winged snake been so sexy.
Never has a winged snake confused me so.
So sexy. Beautiful.
That is stunning.
There's another photo of this as well, but
I will assume that this is Daughters of Cain stuff. Like this is
It is,
this
yeah.
is the new kids on the block here.
It's Lady Marathi, yes. So it's the new version of her in her like big old snaky form.
She's a really big model too.
She is massive, yeah.
takes up the whole size of the kitchen row.
Yeah, it's nearly the height of the kitchen. It's nearly
That's how scale's going to be designated in the future by
Oh,
One and
kitchen.
a half of kitchen row.
Hang on, before we go on to a skinny, I'm too warm. Give me a sec.
Okay, John needs to cool down.
You can talk about her for a little longer while I go and potentially buy one.
John's going to go and have a cold shower. Okay. Do you know much about the Daughters of Cain stuff, Ben? Have you played with them or anything like that?
No, I haven't actually, but I sort of learned a little bit about what they were doing and sort of where they are now in terms of what's been going on with the oh, maybe you lost me there for a second, but hopefully I should be back. But
Yeah, I can hear
but anyway,
you.
yes. So Marathi and her sort of Daughters of Cain have come out of their sort of engagements with Slanesh and all that kind of thing, and they're looking for a little bit of vengeance back on the tabletop now. So
Very cool. While John's away, I'm going to be... I think what we can do is we can maybe browse through the website and do a little bit of a selling spiel. So Ben, in Backstage, what do we get?
So yeah, when it comes to Backstage, we've got a whole bunch of awesome stuff in there. So one of the big things we do is a whole bunch of painting tutorials. So if you're interested in learning a lot about how we paint, we not only have people like John and Roman from Beast of War that come and do painting stuff with us and share their stuff, but we also have the likes of Dallas from Privateer Press who does some bits and pieces too. And as well as all the stuff we do in terms of Backstage for painting, we also have really nice vlogs that we look behind the scenes of what's going on in Beast of War, so you can come and see what we're doing with the likes of the Wall of Doom and all our crazy stuff when we're building stuff to hold all our terrain and all those bits and pieces, and sort of what's going on behind the scenes in terms of the website and all that kind of thing too. So if you're interested in that, you can go and join in on that side as well. One of the big things is that John's been doing this really cool Presonians vlog series, which is where he's been painting up a really fantastic Imperial Guard army or Astra Militarum force based on both Imperial Guard and also sort of Napoleonic metal miniatures, and it's been going on Backstage for a really long time now. And if you've been watching any of the live streams that he's been doing, you can actually go and see the archive footage of that in Backstage as a mod as well. So if you do like the idea of coming to check out some more of our hobby stuff, then Backstage is always great. And it also helps keep everything on in the studio, keeps all the computers running, keeps all the lights on, makes us so that we can, do awesome shows and all kind of things like that. So go Backstage, check things out. And of course, yes, Martin 45, don't forget we also have a Weekender. So Weekender is an awesome show we do on Saturdays, and then for Backstage we do an extra long Backstage, although it's probably not what the XLBS means, on Sunday, where we talk lots more about everything in terms of hobby and everything else. So yeah, loads of really cool stuff to explore on Backstage, and of course Front Stage on Beast of War as well. So yeah.
Did you guys just go into?
Oh yeah, hashtag buy merch. There we go.
Did you guys just go into a 3-minute advertising thing while I ran off to not be so cooked anymore?
I just thought we'll because I know how much you want to talk about these tanks, so I just thought I can't talk about tanks.
You could.
I'm not a designated tank guy, so I just thought we'll do some selling spiel.
Yeah. So we've seen some of these last week.
Yeah.
These Israeli M48s, and just there's not much I can add to what I said about them last week. That it's just a really tidy paint job, and Oriskany knows what to highlight and what not to highlight when it comes to a model tank that makes it look good, especially at 15mm.
Loves putting tail lights in modern tanks.
Yeah, I've noticed that. I tend to do that too. My Team Yankee stuff, all the tail lights and headlights are painted, and all the little orange reflectors and stuff are on it, because it breaks it up. It gives you something else for your eye to catch on to.
I do remember editing a video of yours, it was a paint tutorial on one of the tanks, I think, and you got so excited over painting lights. Like, John, they're just lights.
I'm easily excitable. Show me a tank and I'm done.
Not yet.
Oh.
We have a stream to do, John.
Shush.
Next up we have Andy's working on US Rangers from the Empress miniatures again. There's not much that needs to be said about these.
Just stop
I think
being so
we
good.
need just a gallery from
Yeah.
Andy's stuff, and we can just be like, yeah, they're great.
Oh, he's done some SS as well.
Uh-huh.
You see, I recently painted some SS, and what does Andy do? He comes in and goes, I see what John has done, and I'm going to improve on this and make it better. And it's like, you swine.
Yeah.
And some of the updated pics, these Martin 45 promised, these miniatures belong to the former faction Darklands by Mercia Miniatures. What is this thing, Glenn?
Angrax, Oxgore of the Drakworld. I can say it every.
It's just going to be every week we're going to see this miniature.
I think we should start with a picture of this just to get Ben into the mood.
Yeah.
I think the main thing that he's showing off as you go through the rest of here is that he's actually pulled together the whole Famari faction that he's been putting together for Miss and Darkland, which is really cool. Man, and the miniatures really are massive when you look at them. He's got them up there, sort of scale against a Primaris Marine and things, which is they are amazing miniatures. And when you look a lot closer into the Miss miniatures range, they have some of the best looking skeletons.
Yep.
I'd like to point something out, that his bases are equally as awesome.
Yeah, they really are. Obviously, he's using bits of cork. He's got some snow in there, little grass tufts.
I feel sorry for that goat.
Half a goat, hort. What happened to my English? Where did that go?
Put it on your jumper, John. It's the source of your power.
It had a tank on it. That's why.
We'll just bring in the comparison between the Space Marines as well. They are huge.
That's a Primaris with them. Oh my goodness.
I like this guy's facial expression, actually. Let's just zoom in.
I'm not quite sure what I'm going to do, but I'm definitely going to hurt it. I like that guy.
Yeah. Okay.
Can I just say that Primaris Marine looks amazing too?
Yeah. As I said, the standard's going up every week.
It really is.
So we've got next up some Deadzone Rebs booster pack. A lot of people are using these milk bottle corks.
Yeah, the milk bottle tops.
Mm-hmm.
We can tell you drink a lot of semi-skimmed. We now know something about your life.
Oh, there's a blue cork in there.
Oh, bad.
That's for a visitor.
Was that was that when you decided not to have leg day? You went full fat or whole milk.
These look great though. These are very fantasy or sci-fi.
Yeah, it's the nice thing about the Rebs as a faction for Deadzone is that it kind of gives you that opportunity to go wild with the painting and try interesting new things, because a lot of their stuff is alien based.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So it's really nice to see. Hopefully we see some more progress of how this comes together from Lorna as well. I'm really interested to see how the big gunners end up, ones with the yellow skin. They seem very cool to me. So
it's got a bit to go there. 292 unpainted models to go.
That's a bit worrying that you have that.
Let's just hope that they hasn't updated this in a while.
Yeah.
Next up we have a dragon.
Oh, I love dragons.
A red dragon by Reaper Minis.
It's the one from the cover of the old Pathfinder book.
Oh wow.
This looks great.
That I just love a nice vibrant red. There's something very striking about that.
I like the shading in the wings here.
Yes, the wings are the really nice, impressive bit of that. I love those. Yeah.
So was this dragon made for the book, or was the inspired by the book or the?
So the book came out, and then Reaper did a whole bunch of miniatures, both bones and traditional metal sculpts, to go with Pathfinder. So this would have been the one that was done for the book once it came out, and I love the cover for this book as well, because it really adds to the sort of drama of the piece and everything. It's really nice.
I think maybe a little bit of like anti-shine on that. I don't know if it might be the camera though, the camera flash.
It could be the camera, just the lighting. Oh my god, what's this? It's
A
cute.
vast board game miniatures expansion, Fearsome Foes expansion. And he's been posting up tutorials on Board Game Geek as well. So if you want to go see some tutorials on how these are painted, you can go through with that. He's even got the flame.
That's so cute.
Coming up in the. Is it a boiler?
It's clearly a still.
I like his background. Because the backgrounds are designed for the miniatures almost.
We have a flaming unicorn.
I don't think I've ever seen a flaming unicorn.
A flamicorn.
A flamicorn. Beautiful work.
Yeah.
A lot of attention to detail, and a lot of even his photography is nicely themed, which really sets it off.
Yeah. Anyone who can get more painting done of their board game miniatures is top for me. So yeah.
Awesome. Now Dogman's been. What is this? Has he been making a box, or is this something that mini test shot? What is this?
What are you doing?
So from the likes of it, he's been trying to get some high quality wood to create a backdrop for photographing miniatures.
Oh, so he's actually making a little photo set. That's really cool.
Making a little single model capable scenic display, which is very cool. And
So-
you can see he's been painting a little bit of a background on there and stuff as well.
Yeah, so this might be, I only say this because of this model here, it might be just taking a little advice from our last thing, and maybe you had an idea of making an actual background. This looks much cooler than a blank page.
Yeah.
I'm looking for, this would be cool to see. I wonder how it's going to turn out in the end. Only time will tell. Shadespire next. We've got some custom bases from Shadespire.
Yeah, so in Shadespire, one of the big things is that you get little tiny pieces of terrain that block off certain aspects of the game board and stuff, and you'll see it sort of on the game boards themselves marked out in different colours lines. So instead of it all just being 2D, Inez has gone to the effort of creating actual 3D terrain pieces to add that a little bit more dynamism to the game, which is really cool.
That is a real nice touch, yeah. And it lifts the board of Shadespire off a little bit.
I think this would look nice in Mythic Battles as well.
Oh,
It would, yeah.
Those pillars would be really nice. Are those 3D printed? Are those custom made things, or are
They
those...
look like they would be 3D printed.
Yeah.
Or... You know what, actually?
Oh, they are plastic wedding cake pillars. You got 8 of them from eBay for £4.
Yeah, I was just thinking, like,
Oh,
you
man.
could probably
Yeah.
use candle stands.
Oh man,
Yeah.
that's okay. That's it. I'm buying a bunch of those because
There
that's
you go.
really cool. That is such a nice idea. That's really ingenious.
I didn't even think of that. That's very
No.
nice. Yeah.
Oh, we've got them Zen stuff here.
And then you can use the man and the wife, or from the top of the cake, to use his dead bodies in there.
Need the cake.
Wow,
Yeah.
wow, Ben. That even I'm gonna.
Yeah,
say
well,
that was
actually,
grim.
yeah. Why not just buy a wedding cake, eat the cake, and then you got terrain as well. There we go.
Genius, man. Genius.
That's a very expensive
Life
piece of terrain.
hacks.
But think of the memories, John. You'll cherish that
I remember
forever.
eating that cake and making that terrain.
That's your new hobby, boys. We can see it in the tabletop as well.
It really looks
They really
superb.
look perfect for that.
Yep, really, really good. That is an incredibly ingenious idea. I would have tipped my hat had I not taken it off.
There's a hat somewhere. It'll be alright. Yeah. I'm going to presume that a lot of people are going to be out.
Buying bits for wedding cakes.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Like, honey, wedding
should
season
totally
is
look
not
at-
coming up soon.
Yep.
And these are Gangs of Rome, aren't they?
No risk.
Yeah.
Be sure to hire a good photographer for the event as well. I'm making terrain with the wedding cake I just bought.
Very expensive terrain piece.
Damn right.
So we got some Gangs of Rome stuff. I love the way that this is. I love the models or the postures in these.
They're all very dynamic from the guys at Footsore and Urbana. Yeah, they do a really good job on the miniatures.
Do you know what this photo is actually missing? Wedding cake pillars.
Yeah. It's MDF is no longer going to look good.
Wedding cake pillars from now on.
Wedding cake pillars for now on. That's it. That's the goal. Oh, I like the cloth work on this.
Mm-hmm.
It almost looks like silk, actually. With the I would say that it's a bit shiny, but it works because it kind of looks silky. And
Yeah.
if this was painted in purple, imagine purple, you would assume it to be royalty.
Oh, absolutely.
I like it. And a distraction from Yanis from his Romans. He's painting up the Swedish Yellow Company. I wonder how he found the yellow to paint.
I like how he's went from, to take a break from my Romans, I'm starting another rank and file army. It's like, okay. Not my first choice.
Chris Caesar points out that looking back at the Gangs of Rome pictures, it looks like a confused man walking out of his house.
I've just read
and
the
then
comment.
forgetting
Just coming out.
Good morning, everybody.
Hold on a second.
Was
Have
I
left
was
the
I
oven
supposed
on?
to go for bread?
Hold on.
Did I leave the stove on?
Honey, is the stove on? No, dear. Oh, good.
Maybe I'll
Thank
just
you.
go buy some, get some peas instead.
Oh, dear.
Caesar, I hope
Ah.
that becomes a comic. I wanna see a comic.
Yeah. Oh, that's made my day. That's
Yeah.
good.
2 more goals from. Oh, good. We don't have to.
We do have to censor
we
this
don't
one.
have
It's
to
in
censor
shadow
this.
enough.
It's good. It's fine. Until someone takes a screenshot and highlights it. Shh. These
Oh,
look great.
The goal of that man, Andy.
I see
That
what
was
you-
terrible.
I see what you did, Ben.
Yeah.
Shut up.
Oh no, this is
Andrew
vibrant.
Foot has been making a king. How do you pronounce this? Redwald?
Redwald.
Red
East
Wall of
Anglia.
East
Mhm.
Anglia.
It's based on the Sutton Hoo miniature that Footsore did, which is very. So if anyone remembers the ship burial that was found, this was the guy with the very famous helmet.
Mm-hmm. You know what I kind of like about this is the basing doesn't go all the way to the edge of the base. Essentially.
Yeah, but I think this is an insert.
Is it?
I think the round base is. I think it's maybe able to get the round base out. I'm not sure. I keep seeing hints of something that I think is the edge of a round base, but I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Either way, I've always loved this basing style, and I've always wanted to do it on something. Like a vignette or something. Like that thing I was working on for Dad for Christmas.
Yeah.
I really want to do that. And I still might. But I just need a better wooden base for it. I love that style. I love that fading out.
Even the fade out and the the cloth
Yeah.
of the wolf pelt.
Yeah.
I assume it's a wolf.
Or a fox.
I don't think foxes are that dark, are they?
It's a big mouse.
It's a really big mouse.
Oh well. Maybe it's a real mouse. And he's put it on
Yeah.
top of the mini.
Yeah. Or a vole. You skinned a vole for a 28mm miniature. Oh, look at this.
I'm going to ignore this one because on the last page.
Is it finished on the last
Even
page?
cooler.
Yeah, so let's ignore that.
It's making me want to collect them.
Doug the Fog, meanwhile, has painted on the shield is his local rugby club shield design, Uxbridge Rugby Club.
That's
founded in
awesome.
1066. So he's just free-handed, like his own rugby.
Yeah.
And you know what?
emblem.
At that size of model, that's actually really good.
This is the emblem here.
Yeah, that's actually really good.
And yeah, I think it
Doug,
looks
Doug,
great.
Doug the Fog's been doing some amazing stuff. Like he's done one of those things where he's just basically taken his collection and he's working his way through pretty much everything. He's been so industrious with everything he's been doing. He's painted up loads of Vikings and Saxons, and now he's doing Normans and all that kind of thing as well. So it's really nice to see someone who's like fully involved and engaged with their hobby.
Full on painting mode.
Yes. Yeah.
I wonder if this is like the cut, like the uniform, the rugby uniform. as
He's
well.
actually wearing a rugby shirt underneath
Yeah.
the chainmail. Yeah. That would be.
Yeah.
That's actually a thought.
It looks like it,
Yeah,
Yeah.
and it suits the style.
it does actually. Yeah.
That's very impressive. I really like that. And Dave Hawes, he's been working on the skirmisher. The main paint is done, and he's going to come back and do some touch-ups and fixes. So yeah,
Your photography needs a bit of work, but there is a lot of potential in there. Nice little mix of gold in amongst all the dark and the greys and stuff.
nice big Wolfman.
Yep.
They from Wrath of Kings.
They are, yeah.
Yeah. The Goritzi, isn't
Goritzi,
it?
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Very nice one.
Justin fell in love with the Goritzi range, and unfortunately he took it before I got my hands on it. So.
Which means it'll never get painted then.
I know,
Yeah.
or it'll get primed.
This is a burn. I painted up the fishmen anyway. I enjoyed painting them. The Wrath King stuff was really fun to paint. I really enjoyed it. It was the first thing I brought from the studio, and I was just like, I want to paint these because these look cool. And I brought them in the studio, and they've never been looked at again.
Oh wow!
Now we've got more Malifaux, but this reminds me more of Street Fighter.
It does actually, yeah.
This is cool.
Used Vallejo still water and transparent water on the water and the basing to make it look like it does.
That is so good.
Wow.
So good.
That's a really good transition from the map painting to the liquid. It suits it really well.
Texture is important when you're doing that sort of thing. And getting the idea that is actually liquid.
Yeah. Oh.
Beautiful.
That's amazing.
Yep.
That is absolutely amazing.
Oh, more grim, Lance.
Genuine Vision, Irish Steve has been working on this. If you haven't seen his streams, he's more than likely in the chat now.
Yeah.
Go follow him. He's great crack. That's the best way to. I was watching him at St. Patrick's Day, and he was having a blast on stream. This looks great. This is so wacky. I've never seen anything like this before.
Yeah, beautifully creepy.
You know what I want to think of is it's not like the puppeteer isn't this thing. The puppeteer is this.
Yeah.
I think that'd be more creepy. Just this young boy, black eyes, mastering this huge puppet thing.
Mm-hmm. The stuff of nightmares.
It reminds me of what do you call it, from that kids show where they drag cardboard racing. What is it called? Box racing? What was it called? It wasn't like Misfits or something. Do you remember it, Ben?
No.
It's Alfalfa. He looks like Alfalfa. Little Rascals. Thank you, Coco. He looks like Alfalfa. If he had black hair, I think he'd suit it. What I love as well about Steve's stuff is he always textures his photographs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not just a picture of a mini I've painted. It's an image of everything, and everything plays into the theme of it a little.
It's a gallery piece. Here you go, John.
Ah.
Let me get a proper zoom in on this for you.
Oh, looks even better when you zoom in.
Oh wow. See, this usually isn't the kind of model that I would look at and think, yes, I definitely want to paint that. But right now I'm thinking, yes, I definitely want to paint that. It's so nice.
It's just the work on the gold crown and everything there is amazing.
Ben, you have to help me get enthused for Age of Sigmar and maybe actually get a game with me at some point.
Well, I'll have to do that. Next time I'm over, I'll have to bring some Stormcast or something over.
I'm probably going to end up painting some Stormcast anyway. I have a whole pile of them somewhere. I just don't know where they are.
I have a Dwarven boat. Like an airship boat. Yeah.
Oh, did you buy one of the Argonaut ones?
Yeah,
they're cool.
I have one of those. I haven't painted it because I want you to show me how to airbrush.
You can use Justin's airbrush. He's not using it, so...
Here's John, he's painting his walls.
Yeah, he's doing a very good job of that too.
I want to also point out, we have a forum topic that Justin created. It was like, show off your hobby space. And of all the... Like, Justin was really proud of his hobby space, of his little, like, L-shaped desk. And then all the rest of the community posted their stuff. And it looks amazing!
It's like garages devoted to the hobby.
You look at it, and Justin didn't even go to the effort of opening his curtains. And they have all this amazing hobby stuff. It makes you jealous.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, we've got cheapy stuff as well. Arcadia World.
Quite fittingly from Midget, the user, which is quite good.
Yeah.
But yes, some really nice little cheap miniatures there.
They are.
I love this wizard.
They're adorable.
You almost look at... Are these board game minis, Ben? Do you know?
They are, yes.
Yeah, because just the...
You can see a bit of the texture on the hand there.
But for board game minis, they look great.
That's what I quite like when you see miniatures like this from board games, where a lot of the sort of the parts of the model are emphasized a lot more. It means that you get to be a lot more sort of liberal with the painting, and go a little crazier with stuff. And
this is really nice as well because I assume Midget is like a new user because we've got 5 points. So it's nice to see that more people are coming in and posting their work. as well.
Yeah.
So that's what we like to encourage. You post your work, doesn't matter how good, how bad it is, it's all welcome.
The big thing about this as well is that when you've got miniatures of this where like beard, hair is clearly defined, and the way that the clothing works and stuff like that, it means that when you're coming to learn techniques like highlighting and shading, you've got a basic guide to doing it, because you just paint on the higher ridges of the models and you emphasize those, and it means that when you come to paint models that are maybe a little less detailed or a little bit more fiddly, you've got something that worked as like a little training ground for you to keep going, which I think is really cool. So
Laughing Boy actually says great eyes. I agree with that. Look at the
yes.
eyes on that.
Yeah.
Also, Sam has said big thanks to Midget for showing them around Prague over the weekend. And apparently this is our first time painting minis.
If this is your first attempt at painting,
Oh, what?
there is only up. You can only get better from there.
That's crazy.
Yep.
Yeah.
And Commodore Rob has been working on his Guild Ball stuff, continuing in the Guild Ball stuff.
Ox from the butchers.
Oh, this is a really
Big
good
old
photograph actually. It's really high res, so we can get a nice zoom on it. This looks pretty good.
Zoom it in, hands.
Zoom in and enhance, yes. What do you think of this, John?
Yeah.
He's taking time away from the car racing game.
Yeah.
We're still working on Guild Ball, so it's nice to see that it's actually continuing on with it as well.
I just heard Ben there. Is that
The next model is so cool.
Blood Bowl Ogre?
Yeah.
That's a really nice looking one.
And then look at the painting. Oh.
Oh my goodness.
Oh wow, okay. I thought when you said look at the painting, we were looking at like the in progress. We were like, what do you mean?
I love the shading, like just in here, because it's not wet blended.
Yeah.
It's blended with really subtle strokes and just nice thick, like normal layers of paint.
Yeah, it's so nice. And it has
it's nice to see proper step-by-step stuff as well, which is really cool. Sorry, John, you were saying.
No, it's just nice to see people actually taking that like really thin paintbrush approach and just doing little lines. It has that lovely cartoony feel to it.
Mm-hmm. We're on that. That's great. What's his name here? Half Mile Duck, of course. Of course. Amazing. I want to see more of that. I want to see more.
I want to see the whole team.
Yeah.
I want to see the whole team.
If it paint that well, don't go relaxed on the other ones. I want to see them all like that. What's this here? Oh, this is
the
an
sculpting.
update sculpt. Was this the one that got eaten by the floorboard monster? That had to sculpt a new one. I saw at the very start of the stream that he was talking to you, Ben. That lost the sculpt on it, but this looks great as well. It's nice to see that not only are people painting, but they're also sculpting.
Yep.
Yes. Half Mod Duck says in the comments he does have the whole team and he will add them in.
Yes.
Awesome.
Do it. I want to see it. 2D sick. What is these? Conquest?
This is Conquest stuff, so this is Parabellum. Yeah.
See, we haven't seen very much of Conquest stuff coming out recently. Well, we've seen a lot coming from Parabellum, but we haven't seen much from the community.
I believe these are being done for an event that's coming up soon, and he's painting up the miniatures and stuff.
These are all incredible.
Look at the shields.
Beautiful work.
I like the reposing of the larger miniature as well, so it's got like the claw reaching down and stuff. It looks very cool. It's like in a nice dynamic pose. The spire for this are the clones are the army that really gets me, because I love their bowmen. I think they look amazing.
The ones with 3 arms.
Yeah, for like loading and firing the arrows constantly. It's so cool. Yeah. Very nice painting work.
I do not envy that amount of paint. My goodness. That's impressive. I can't wait to see the end result.
Yeah, seeing all that.
I presume this isn't finished?
I'd say it
Or
isn't
maybe it
far
is.
off. Doesn't look far off.
If it's maybe for an event, then it might be for just tabletop going, but
That's
it looks
definitely
great.
higher than tabletop.
Yeah.
I think this was a lot of the base coat's done, and there he's 2d6 is starting to work on depth, shading, and highlighting. So there we go.
Ah, Roy Urquhart.
And Nomad Wanderer is working on this. This is great as well.
It's Roy Urquhart, as played by Sean Connery in A Bridge Too Far.
Sean Connery.
Sean Connery. What was that terrible joke I heard a while ago? It was like, a book fell and hit me on my head. I can only blame myself.
Terrible. The stream's over.
Stream's over. We're
Cut
done.
it short now.
You've just broke Twitch terms of service. Jesus Christ.
Look at this. Look at this Stormcast though.
Now that is how you do gold Stormcast, non-metallic, because that is beautiful. It doesn't distract from the model. It's well shaded, well highlighted. Color palette is beautiful and warm. Perfect, absolutely perfect. And it's probably a competition piece, which makes it even better.
Enough said about that.
Yes.
My goodness. These are the guys I fell in love with for Age of Sigmar. I don't know why. I just think
They're
look really cool.
delightfully quirky with
Yeah.
all their metallic.
Caradron Overlords, yeah.
But I wouldn't paint them in the bronze or the gold. I'd paint them in a primary color. What's this? Is this Infinity? This who's painting these?
This is
These look Nomad Wanderer. I assume you're a new member as well.
he's the guy from the YouTube comments, I think.
Oh yes.
Yeah. These are beautiful pieces.
Amazing.
Absolutely beautiful.
Thank you very much for coming in and posting them as well.
Yeah.
I want to see more of your work as well. I want to see you continue to come back to the community and push your work because. All right.
Look at how
Now
good
we're just
that
showing
is.
off.
But that's the thing. Like, if you enjoy painting to this level, you're gonna find a lot of people are gonna be coming around to you on our forums and saying, "Oh, could you give me a little hand with something?" And if you're willing to share that knowledge and help, you will find yourself a really good home here with us. So.
I kind of want to ring up Warren and be like, Warren, look at this page right now. I'm sending you the link.
An interesting thing for, so obviously you were saying you're interested by those Caradron Overlords for Age of Sigmar. There are kind of whispers that one of the guys at a store was telling me that there might be Goblin Sky Pirates on the way, potentially, for Age of Sigmar, which could be kind of cool.
Oh,
so.
if that's a thing, I might actually go for that instead of Stormcast.
I can imagine they'd be a lot of fun to paint. So.
Oh, yeah.
These
So
goblins
cool.
have a lot of character, so if they do it well, and they will, it'll look great. So 40k done recently by Bob Cockane.
Bob.
Some of these are great as well. I love the black colour actually. Black wing in this.
Is that like a version of Korax or something? I'm not sure.
I don't know, John. You're asking the wrong person.
Yeah, I know I'm asking the wrong person.
Yeah, Laughing Boy also says it's depressing looking at these. Is it not inspiring?
Never be depressed by someone who paints to an incredibly high level. It's always an aspiration.
Yeah.
See, all I've been doing now since Dave Taylor's book funded on Kickstarter, it's been all I've been talking about is get inspired, because that's what I wrote about for the book.
What did you write something in the book?
I wrote for the book. Yeah, I have a little piece on inspiration that's going into the book, hopefully.
Oh, wow.
If he doesn't look
Awesome.
at it and go, actually, your writing's terrible, and throw it out.
John would.
Yeah, just so you're aware, that model from Bob Cockane is actually it's an alternative version of him that was picked up from eBay, according to Bob in the chat.
So it is Korax, but it's just it's like a high-tech miniatures or whatever that other whatever these companies are. I can't remember some of their names.
I'm impressed as well that you've done so well with the black, because I would struggle with painting with black, especially highlighting it. So I can only praise you for that. Next, Witch Cult Color Scheme test.
Sam, that's exactly why I keep saying, "Oh, that's not fair."
This is cool. There's a very vibrant color scheme in this. Like there's so many colors going on, but it looks pretty cool.
There is a lot going on. I don't know what I would say. I would maybe simplify some of the colors. Personally, if it was me, I wouldn't have the red in there.
Mm-hmm.
I would maybe have stuck to like the blues or the purples.
It's the purple and blue tone.
Yeah. But it suits Dark Eldar because they are excessive in every way. So.
Mm-hmm. Oh, the wing work on this is great, and that's just dry brushing, I presume.
Pardon me, on the wings, yeah, but I don't think it's on the
not in the armor.
chest. That's hard edging.
Yeah.
All this little bit of red and stuff in there is hard edging.
Mm-hmm. But even just with dry brush, I think it looks great with just what's up, Ben?
I'm going to have to step away for 5 minutes, but I will be back immediately. I shall log back in, but
back immediately in 5 minutes.
Yes. Just so you're aware.
English works well.
Yes, I unfortunately have some stuff happening where I am at the moment, so but I shall be back in a second.
No problem. So, that's us reaching the end of the What Are You Painting Now thread, and we encourage you to come in and create your own forum topics and create replies in this, because it keeps us updated. But if you create your own forum thread, you can always come back to it and you can create your own gallery, your own portfolio piece. And it's always good to have. And you can get personal feedback as well for your projects. And speaking of different forum topics, we have a few here listed out that we picked out this week on the Beast of War forums. So we have Operation Typhon at the moment, and this was for a Salute 2018 demo game by Piers. He's been just kind of working up on this. What is this? So he's going to be making the invasion of Leros in 1943. Thankfully for him, he only had a supply of troops for it. Some of them are converted, but they all look great.
Excellent attention to detail. Look at the chipping and stuff on the helmets is fantastic looking.
Mm-hmm. Thank you very much, Colonel Xander, for following us.
It's definitely something I'd like to see a lot of pictures and stuff on at Salute. Like to see the whole project finished.
Every time we go to Salute, we're always really busy because we're constantly going around and filming interviews and stuff.
Yep.
But because I'm usually the cameraman, if you ever see the camera dip or something, it's usually because I'm distracted. I'm like, oh, look at that! That looks really cool.
And then the camera starts doing that.
At Salute, everything around you is phenomenal, especially if you're at the participation tables, or even just the tables that are just set up and looking amazing. It's usually what happens is you get very distracted, and hopefully John will try and get some more pictures of this here for you.
Please do,
whenever we're over. I love the guy in the back, almost like he's reloading or throwing
gesturing
a grenade, but he looks like he's cheering them on. Go on, you can do it.
You can do it.
Snow outside, so paint some more tropical types. Oh, these look.
I love the machine gunner. He just looks super confident.
Doesn't he? I even like how he's giving him a vignette here.
Yep.
Right, let's call Ben back here.
Return to us, Ben. Return.
I guess we can't.
Can we?
Hold on. There we go. We're in now. For some reason. There we go. Rang. Hello, Ben.
Hello, I'm back.
It has
Thank you,
returned.
Ben. We're currently looking at the table for Salute.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Oh, yes, this is stuff from Piers, because yes, he's doing the demo table, isn't he? Yeah. Very awesome.
Absolutely beautiful.
Yeah.
I'm
looking forward to actually seeing these in person when it comes to going to the event, so it's going to be very nice to see these.
So I was saying, you have to get plenty of pictures of that for me.
Oh, definitely, yeah. I think it's one of the things we're trying to sort of aim to do a little bit of this year at Salute is to have a lot more look at the gaming tables that are going on and try and find out what people are doing in that sense. Mm-hmm. So it'll be really cool to see how it all comes together in the proper setup, and it'll be nice to learn about it from a historical angle as well as it just being a game. So it'd be really nice to hear on that front. So
yep.
As Grittany says, the small battle in the Aegean is not one that many people talk about, so it's good to get a little bit of a spotlight on parts of history that you don't normally hear about. So yeah.
He's painted a lot of models here because he started this topic. When was it? You can zoom back to the top here. 4 weeks ago. So he painted a lot of models in just a month. And he's working on more as well.
Some aircraft and stuff too.
Is he basing these models actually before he's painting them?
Yeah.
You see a lot of people doing that actually.
It's become a bit of a theme. Some people don't, some people do.
What would you prefer?
6 of one, half a dozen of the other. Depends on the project, really. Like, obviously, he's trying to get something done very quickly for Salute. Why are you smiling like that?
It just sounded so like salesman.
6 of one, half a dozen of the other.
I felt like you were selling me vegetables there.
Base your miniatures now. Go.
So he's priming these in black as well, so that's why he's getting
that
shading.
Yeah, he's getting that class-looking highlight. Really, really good. Oh, I see what he's doing. Scroll up a little bit. Look at that. He's not painting the eyes because he's painting them in shadow. That's brilliant. That's a good way to avoid painting eyes.
If you can hide it, then all the better.
Absolutely. Really good. I love the medic. He's starting his skin tones start very dark too. Have you seen?
Yeah. But it highlights up, so it works. Yeah. What is our next topic here, Ben? Let me. This one. Okay. So we've been. Oh, next up is John. You listen to a lot of audiobooks.
Tons.
Do you read much?
No. Because I can listen to a book while I'm painting. I can't read a book while I'm painting.
Yeah. So there's a topic here asking suggestions for ebook readers. Unfortunately, I don't really use ebook readers. I have a Kindle Fire, which my girlfriend took on her to watch Netflix movies on the airplane, and I haven't really seen where it's went since. But as far as I'm aware, like the Kindle Fire worked really well for me whenever I had a couple of comic books on it. But I like proper books to have. Ben, have you any input onto this?
Yeah, so it was interesting hearing about someone who's looking for e-readers and those kind of things. Like, I see a lot of people using iPads and all sorts of stuff like that. But I use, as like a little bit of a cheaper end of the scale, I do use like a Kindle Fire, and it's been really good because it has enough storage to store a lot of. This is a sales pitch now. It's got enough room on it to store a lot of stuff in terms of rule books. Because I have like loads of Lord of the Rings manuals on there, and ones that I've downloaded for role-playing games and all sorts of things. And it's about the right size. So I was going to say that if you are looking and you're still considering the idea of what you want to do with e-readers for gaming and stuff, finding one that's just one of the cheaper ones kind of does the job anyway. Especially if you're only using it for that, more or less, or for role playing and just quickly like looking through things and highlighting text and stuff.
Plus, you can cut a hole in the book, then you can put it inside the book and pretend you're reading the book.
Yeah, go to like one of those really old sort of second-hand bookstores. Find something that has a bit of leather binding to it, and just tear the pages out.
Yeah, you'll look like a proper historian. Yes, I'm reading intellectual history right now. Meanwhile, you're just reading Calvin and Hobbes and the inside, and you're like,
You've actually just picked the entirely wrong book from the bookstore, and you're like, yes, I am a historian, and I am reading the petty sessions of Bristol's local petty courts from 1876 to 1877. And you're like, oh, that sounds interesting. It's like, no, it's not.
No, it's not. I'm reading Calvin and Hobbes.
Yeah, you'll also find as well, actually, when it comes to a lot of stuff, especially if you're looking at Games Workshop games, Black Library do a lot of really easy to convert ebook stuff, EPUB stuff, and it kind of works with pretty much everything, or it can be downloaded straight into Amazon and all that kind of thing as well. So, and they're usually a lot more dynamic than you would have thought from a book. So if you are in that sort of wheelhouse of looking at stuff, then you've got some really nice options out for you. But Kindle Fire, as I say, works for me. I use it for all my digital rule books, but then I do prefer like physical ones as well, as you were saying, Hans. But
Kindle Fire is quite cheap as well. I think it's only like 60 80 quid.
Yeah, I think mine was 40 quid, so it's not too bad really. So yeah,
okay.
Quid for you, just in case you don't know, is British for pound. There you go. If you're listening.
Until Brexit fails, we all have to use euro.
Until Brexit, yeah.
Redemption and Revenge, The Last Mark of the Luna Wolves by Ghost Dog has been put up quite recently as well. Ben, do you know much about this?
Yeah, so this is Ghost Dog looking at some old school miniatures from some of the Rogue Trader days, and he's actually not converting, but he's creating them into his old sort of Sons of Horus army that you can see here. As you were saying, John, this is all pre-heresy stuff, so he's gone with the pre-heresy schemes, and I think the classic models work incredibly well for these as well. So it looks nice. And you can see a lot more progress as you go through, painting up to the white, which again is something that not a lot of people, a lot of people have trouble with. So it's nice to see someone actually doing an entire army in this scheme. So
that's
there you go.
really good.
If you need any suggestions now to paint white, ask Ghost Dog.
Yeah. Go to Ghost Dog and he'll cry.
I regret it.
Don't ask me about white. Just don't do it.
For white though, these look amazing.
Yeah.
And there's not much I can say about these.
I'm just not a fan of the old Rogue Trader minis.
Models.
You see, I actually quite like them. I like their sort of classic, almost retro style. I know it's not a thing that a lot of people feel nowadays, especially with what you see from likes of Forward World and stuff. But the thing I really like about them is it's really nice to see older models given a modern painting technique look, and you see it a lot because obviously back in the day everything was basically just primary colors, big green base,
block colors.
Whereas now it's nice to see people do shading and all sorts of different things like that and highlighting and all that kind of work. So and dynamic bases as well. That's the big thing. So
I think because back then it was maybe were the models a bit cheaper, but now it's become more of the hobby, and people are caring more about the paint job and actually having fun painting the minis and making minis rather than playing the games. Just getting paint on them and playing.
I mean, to me, it's always Games Workshop stuff has always been. Initially, it was about the game. Everything was about the game. The miniatures weren't so important, but when they started to flip it to become that sort of lifestyle, sort of chic hobbiness to it, that's when you really started to see the model detail getting a lot better. And because the model detail got better, people cared more about the paint jobs. And that's where this whole scaling thing went. But if I recall right, like a lot of the Napoleonic wargamers back in the day, their models haven't really changed that much as far as detail goes, because once you've done it, it's done right. There's no need for a lot of revisits and recasts and stuff. Plenty of companies that do it though.
Here's what I wanted to get earlier. We skipped it earlier, but now we're back. It's these
the Mars Attacks amazement.
Mars Attacks from Aldrak. So what he's currently doing is he's painting through the whole Mantic hobby box.
It's like a Bonanza box that they did sort of the end of last year, I think it was, in one of their big sales. And so it obviously comes with loads of stuff in it, and it's not all just from Mars Attacks, it's from Dungeon Saga and all those kind of things as well. But he's been painting through the entire box, and I think this is a really cool idea to just be like, you've got a massive box of miniatures and I'm going to paint the whole thing, and that's the kind of your target. I think it's a very cool idea.
Aliens and Mars Attacks are just, there's something so stupid about them.
They're hilarious.
The paint schemes on these are fantastic, as there's like so many of them. It's easy to lose detail in it because you just become bored after a while. I don't know how you feel, John, but that's how I feel after painting 2. But keeping the detail on these is really good, really great. And and as you say, Ben, like painting a full box, just like getting to the grind of doing it is impressive in its own. And
it's kind of nice because it gives you kind of like an achievable goal to aim towards, because you can see that end point. Because when an army, when you're creating it, you kind of know that there's an end point when you've done that first starting collecting box or whatever. But then after that point, you still got to pay more and more and more. Whereas this can be like, hey, cool, I get to try something totally different this week because I'm painting some fantasy figures, and then the week after I'm painting some sci-fi and stuff. So it's nice just stretching your hobby and exercising your brushwork and all that kind of thing. So
I love the dead bodies as well.
The dead ones are hilarious.
I mean, there's not much point in having an army if you're going into war if you don't have a couple of just dead bodies lying around as well.
The zombie-esque one is kind of freaky,
isn't it?
yes.
Oh, grim.
It's grim. Needs more time.
Grim. Yeah, these are great. We don't see much Mars attacks either, which is quite odd. So getting to see them, someone actually painting through them more, brings them back into the fray again, I guess.
Yep.
But next up we have building a 28mm war table. It's a Viking table, is it, Ben?
Yeah, so this was one by Eugen Sarud ages ago that was done in 15mm. He photographed it really, really nicely, so they looked like it was all set into the background and everything. But he was sort of egged on into getting into Saga, as many people have been, and this is him sort of sketching out the start of designing his Saga board, as you can see there. And I really like this way of planning things out, where you sort of draw out what the kind of thing you want to approach to begin with, and then starting to build elements of that to then piece together. Because I think it means that you don't sort of aimlessly go into this. Mm-hmm. You've got a nice plan, and you know what you're working on next. You know how you're right. I've got to look at these buildings and working out how to do a river and all that kind of thing. So
it's the right amount of planning as well.
Exactly. Yeah.
Like it's not fully detailed. It's just a sketch, and that's all you need. Plan short. And continue on with your stuff. I really like the Viking boat as well on here.
Yeah, it's the one that we have about 5 or 6 of.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
That I will probably eventually paint.
Yeah, I was going to say what happened to those.
Oh, don't do not draw attention to that stuff. Leave it alone.
But we can see here, like, he's actually, from the quick planning, he's gone through. Looks like no, it's not coffee skewers. It's just lollipop sticks, but
lolly sticks
as well. Yeah.
But it's nice to see that almost dry fitting of a board together, just so you can get an idea of what you're doing as well. So it's nice to see.
Is that all of it? Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I hope we see more of this as it develops into an actual board, because I'd love to see the final product for this one. So.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And finally, as we were talking last week, Ben's fished out a beautiful little guide from Games Workshop of taking photographs, and maybe we can explain this a lot better, or not better, but we can explain in detail a quick overview of how to take decent photographs of your minis. So, obviously setting the scene we have here, and don't worry, we'll link this topic as well into the post later on during today. Just making sure that you're lighting your models correctly. So even, as you can see here, 2 lights focused over, but even 1 would suffice.
Yep.
The 2 light is to get lighting from this angle and that angle, so it's not casting too much of shadow on
it's
one
not
side.
casting shadow over the front of itself.
And same here as well. That's why you want 2 lights on it.
Yeah, so you don't get that big solid shadow.
Yeah. Finding the golden angle. Every mini has one.
Yep.
Essentially, but multiple angles work for Beast of War and taking work in progress stuff. As you can see here, this is like a good example of the golden angle of, you're
on this
flat down in the tank. You don't see the top.
Yep.
But there's the top.
Just the slightest rise of the camera, just to take a little bit of a top down.
And now we're getting into the more detailed stuff. So we're looking at exposure, aperture, shutter speed, and the ISO on your camera.
Yep. So
if you're using, there's a lot of really good guides out there if you're using a digital phone or DSLRs. And we'll try and put up a guide and some links to topics as well. We're just a wee bit pressed for time at the moment. But if you look up Pinterest, they usually have really good settings for your camera, but for miniature models this is a really good setup. I was looking at this earlier and it's really good. It shows you the focal point, how much aperture you should use and what's the like kind of golden point in it.
Yep.
And here's a very good example of like low shutter speed versus high shutter speed as well.
Yeah.
You just got to find the balance between those. And then this talks about your ISO, so that's how much light gets in, or how much fake light is working. It's something like that.
Yep.
I can explain a bit more detail in the post whenever I try and make one. But this is a good example as well. Is like some phones now can just take really good photographs.
The vlog phone we use, that LG that has a dual camera on it, is really good.
The only issue with that is a phone camera can only take a good enough picture depending on your light and background.
Yep.
If you don't have enough light in it, it's not going to take a great photograph. But you can see here, that's a good example of it. 2 lights, even if you've got 2 other phones in the house, come at it with 2 lights. Just get the kids, like, come here, stand there with a phone, stand there with a torch. There you go, you're sorted. Don't use candles though.
No.
Candles are a bad idea. And yeah, that's a great guide, Ben. Thank you very much for posting it up.
A very useful guide from the Warhammer community page as well. So
that's going to be all from us this week.
Yep.
This has been fantastic. The detail and submissions have been through the roof.
you guys are getting better and better, and you're posting a lot quicker.
Yeah, and it's really good to see that people who are coming into the stream are actually asking how to post up pictures. So even if we go a quick example again, maybe if you've came onto the stream a little bit late, don't worry, we've got your back. If you want to post up pictures of your own, go to beastofwar.com up in the top right. If you haven't got an account, sign in, it's free. If you want, you can become a backstager and support us that way. But if you click this top right tab onto the forums, you can go down to the hobby section and post your images there. We'll be able to see your stuff next week.
Yep.
And people in the forums as well are very helpful. They'll always reply to your stuff as well.
Yeah. So before we go, we'll remind them that I have a painting stream tomorrow. 1 p.m. GMT, so same time this one kind of started today.
Yeah. And that's over on Twitch.
Yes. And there may be a extra painting stream on Friday.
Sweet.
Ooh.
Because, well, I'll not elaborate, just in case it doesn't happen, but there is a chance that there is another one, which might be something.
Yeah. Hit that follow button up in the top right, or subscribe button on the bottom right.
Is it?
On
Yeah,
YouTube.
it's the bottom right.
Feel free to hit those follows as well, because you get notified on your phone when we go live.
Yeah.
Tune in next week, because next week is going to be Dreadball week, and there's a lot of prizes to be won.
Yep.
So get your comments on in that. But I think that's going to be all from us today. We're going to see you again next week, hopefully from 12 p.m. on Wednesday. Do you want to say bye, Colin, from the background?
Bye.
See you, Ben.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.